Hello and welcome to a weekly Shonen Jump cover ranking video, which is something I did last year on a whim, and it was a lot of fun and people seem to enjoy it and have asked for it again, but I was going to do it anyway because I love Shonen Jump. I love the covers, I love looking at them. It's an exciting thing to see every week when the new cover is revealed. And there's a lot of art on the covers. Shonen Jump actually usually has exclusive artwork for each cover. Sometimes it's used for volume releases and stuff, but never retroactively, I think. So I am going to go through each of the covers and give them a rank between A to E, and I'll explain those in a second. I could do a tier list format, but the covers would be really hard to see on a tier list and it would take too long, so we're just going to go through them individually. And I'm also an artist, so I want to focus on the art on the covers and give you my opinion, but of course this is a subjective thing. You might like some covers better than me, and that's fine, and I welcome everyone to leave their opinions in the comments. Just tell me your favorite covers from the year. With that said, let's quickly go through my criteria, starting with E, which is for bad covers. These are usually badly drawn, they have poor composition, poor color choices. Overall though, these are going to be pretty rare because I think Jump has a very high standard when it comes to covers, because of course, when you see it in the store, you're going to want to pick it up if it has good artwork, so they're not going to put bad artwork on it. For D, we have boring covers, which are just covers that are boring to me. They don't do anything in particular that is special, and they don't really spark any joy. C is okay covers. These don't stand out too much, but are overall solid. For B, these are good covers. They have usually good colors, good composition, etc. Most covers from the year should be a B. And then we have A, which is very good. These are often my favorites. They have a strong use of color, composition, or overall fun factor. Maybe they try out something unique, or they focus in on a particular mood, like being really cute or really cool, really well. So, with the criteria out of the way, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the first issue of the year. And that issue is the Shadow Eliminator's debut cover, a manga which I think everyone is going to completely forget in a few years' time. That said, the Shadow Eliminator's art is really, really nice. The main character is on full display. There's a really nice use of color, I think. It's a lot more subtle in its like gradients. You see some like brown in the handcuff, there's like purple in the hair and stuff. I really like the gray in the background as well. I think this one is really solid actually, so I'm gonna give it a B. Issue number 2, we have a winter themed cover with One Piece, with Luffy snowboarding. We have Chopper and Nami in the corner as well, which is really nice, and I like all of the little snow effects. This one is a really fun one. I think the typography of the One Piece on the snowboard in like a graffiti style there is really, really cool. That said, I don't think it's one of my favorites ever, so I'm gonna give this one another B, really strong. Also, I really like the pink Shonen Jump there actually. Usually you have like an orange with the yellow and the red, but the pink works really well there. And next we have the third cover of the year, number 3, with Sakamoto Days, and we have Sakamoto here. He has a really nice jacket actually. I think that's pretty cool. Although the rest of it, I'm not too sure. There's notably, I think, a lot more like text and stuff popping up here on the cover, which is kind of drowning out things for me. The background's kind of interesting as well with the almost like orange bricks. I think this one is like okay. It doesn't quite grab me as much as the last two. And maybe it's just me, but a lot of people really love the Sakamoto Days covers. I tend to rate them a tad lower, so just keep that in mind maybe. Then we have the 4-5 double issue of the year, which is a group spread with a lot of characters on, actually. And we're having a snowball fight, which is actually a really fun little theme. There's all sorts of characters here from some ACT series. You can see Mama Yuyu in the background there, and the 2 on Ice. I think the colors are really nice. I really like the snowball. Wish I knew Japanese to know what it says. It probably says something cool like winter issue or something. But this one is solid. I kind of want to give it an A. I think I will. I think I like the theme. I think all the characters throwing snowballs are really fun. It is a good cover, and generally I like group covers, so that makes sense. And then we get to issue 6-7, which is a New Year's themed cover for the Year of the Dragon. And this one is really, really cute. You have all the Shonen Jump characters kind of in a chibi form there with different dragon outfits on. And that's actually a really cool thing I like with this cover in particular, is all the dragon outfits are like so different. Each artist draws the kind of classical Asian, Chinese, Japanese dragon quite differently. There's some other really interesting bits here as well. Like the Shonen Jump logo has some orange like gradients through it. I don't really recall seeing that used too much. I think the typography for the New Year thing banner at the bottom with the clouds is really cool as well. I think I might give this one another A just because of how adorable it is. Then we reach issue 8, which is the Undead Unluck 4th anniversary cover. I really like this. Like Andrew and Fuko? Andy and Fuko. Maybe, I guess Andy could be short for Andrew. Yeah, it's really fun, really well drawn. The 2 peace signs adding up to 4 is a cool little detail. The colors everywhere from the chibi little characters are a lot of fun. I do feel like it is a little, I don't want to say bland overall. I'm going to give it a B. Spoilers, I guess. It is a good cover, but it doesn't quite hit that very good for me because it is a bit too character dominated. I would have liked a little more spice, I think. And following this, we have another anniversary cover, which is number 9 of the year with Elusive Samurai, which is Tokiyuki on a horse. I like the color gradient. The Shonen Jump logo might be my favorite thing here because it looks like it's heated up. It's like a heated piece of metal. Very cool. And the white Weekly Jump part there is cool. The overall illustration I think is good. It's fine. I think this one's another B actually. This is another really strong one. And then we have another anniversary cover in a row. We have Witch Watch. So we have them all dressed up as the appropriate creatures they are, which is really cute. And then we have a little witch Nico in the middle. This would be a really good Halloween cover. Sadly, it isn't, I guess. But it's still really nice. And I really like the stars in the background and everything. It is a really good cover. I'm really debating if I want to give this an A. I think I will. I think it's cute enough. And I think the little character illustrations here really like level it up for me. And then we have another new debut with issue 11, which is for Chojo, Super Psychic Policeman Chojo. This is a really strong cover. I think Shun Numa's art generally is really strong, especially their color illustrations. They just know how to make things pop, and this cover just does that. The illustrations of Ippongi and Chojo really, really strong here, and I really dig the background. The pink, the flying objects, the like yo-yo, the tiny police car, etc. Also the gradients on all the text, the like swirls. The psychic swirls are really cool. Again, I'm gonna give this one another A. I'm being very generous this year. Then we reach issue 12, which is the Dear Anemone debut cover, which is pretty cool. I think the artwork on display here is very strong. The author of Dear Anemone can draw really well, although in hindsight a lot of their colors tend to look a bit samey, I think. The drowned out colors, the kind of desaturated colors, is a very interesting choice as well, because usually I find the colors on the Jump covers are very saturated. Here they're very like dried out, which is cool. I think the flowers in the background are nice, and I like the very kind of dull deep red. I do feel like the characters could maybe blend a bit more. The title I like as well. I'll put that out there. I love how that's framed. I think I'm gonna give this one a B though. And then we reach issue 13, which is a One Piece cover with Gear 5 Luffy, and this is pretty striking, I think. It's nice. I like the balance of purple with the red and the white. I think that's pretty eye-catching. The general picture of Luffy I think is fine, but the colors I think really elevate it here, as well as the like big fist pose, I think, to a B tier, I think. It is a solid, good cover. Then we reach issue 14 of the year, which is an Akane Banashi 2nd year anniversary cover, which is pretty good. You get to see Akane and all of her kind of schoolmates for the Shigamo school. They all look pretty good. I really like Akane's pose here and her expression. The colors are also really nice, actually, with the kind of deeper pink with kind of turquoise. You also have a lot of effects and kind of sparkles in the background, which I really like, actually. This one is a really strong one, but I think I'm going to give it a B. Next up, we have the 6th anniversary cover for Jujutsu Kaisen, which has Yuji, Sukuna, and I'm blanking on his name. actually. It's been a while since I've read JJK now, since it's ended. The colors are fine. I think the turquoise is nice with the like electric sparks in the background. But I think this one is just kind of solid. The characters don't mesh too well for me. I think I'm going to give it a C. Next up, we have another anniversary cover for issue 16, which is Blue Box's 3rd anniversary. Very kind of like top-heavy anniversary year, I think. This has Taichi and Chinatsu on. Taichi's pose is kind of cool. I do like Chinatsu there, kind of praying for her success. The colors in the background are nice, but this might be the dullest cover so far, although I'd hesitate to call it boring, so I'm going to give it a C. Issue 17 is another One Piece cover, which is heavily kind of pirate themed with the monster trio with the flintlock pistols there. Really dig all of the clothing all the characters have and their expressions. The pirate themed kind of map or paper in the background is very cool as well, as is the typography for that One Piece logo. That's actually really strong. This is a really good one. I think I'm going to give it a B though, because it doesn't quite hit my favorites of the year. Then we have issue 18, which is a very rare Yozakura cover. I mean, these are generally really strong. This one included. I'm a big fan of these, often because they use a lot of pink, and pink is one of my favorite colors. I think it's often really striking, and it's very striking with that green in the Weekly Shonen Jump kind of logo up the top there. This is for the TV debut as well, and we have the whole family really walking into the kind of distance of the corner of the page there. This is a really, really good one. I think I'm going to give it a B though. It doesn't quite hit my top kind of echelon of covers. Maybe I was a bit too generous earlier with some covers. And then we have issue 19, which is for My Hero Academia. I believe this is the final cover, perhaps? And it has Deku and All For One / Shiggy on. The color of purple and green is quite cool here, with it kind of melding in the middle. I really like the colors used for the Shonen Jump logo, the green there. That's really nice. Illustration as well is very good, as usual and expected from Horikoshi. Apparently this one is for 100 million copies, I guess, in circulation, which is very cool. That said, I think I'm going to give this one a really solid B. And then issue 20, we have another new series with Astra Royale. So we have the whole kind of family on this cover. The background is pretty cool with the stars at the top. I kind of wish that was focused in on a bit more, because the general illustration I think is just okay. I feel like Wakui can do better, and we haven't quite been seeing that with the Astra Royale like color pages and covers so far. They kind of lack the oomph he had with Tokyo Revengers, I feel. That said, it's still a solid enough cover. I think I'm gonna give it a C. And then for issue 21, we have another new debut, which is the Kyokuto Necromance cover, which has the main characters on the cover, and that's kind of it. The background doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of yellow, which isn't really the color I associate with the series. I guess it's just there for the jacket. I think the illustration is fine. I'm actually not a fan of the effects Naba uses in Necromance. They look really off-putting to me, like they don't fit the weird smoke and stuff. So this is actually, I think, gonna be am I gonna give it an E? I don't hate it. I think it's okay. And by that I mean I like it's illustrated fine. I'm gonna give it a D though, because I think it's pretty boring and it doesn't really do anything special. Then we reach in issue 22-23 group cover, which I really like. I did see some criticism of this one when it came out, probably because everything feels so disparate and separate, but I like that. They look like stickers, which I think they did sell them as stickers afterwards, which is kind of clever, I think. Yeah, I really like the range of the kind of stickers, because some of them are more chibi, like the Astra one, the Witch Watch one, and then some of them are more full on, like the Luffy, obviously. But you get to see everyone here in a really cool style. I like the lack of shading, actually. And overall, I think it's a strong cover, but I'm going to give it a B. Then we get to some more new manga with issue 24, which is for Psych House's debut. This has the main characters on. It is very colorful, perhaps a bit too colorful. I don't know if it balances its colors too well here. Not that it's like illegible or anything, but I think some other covers handle the kind of rainbow colorful cover better than this. So I'm gonna give this one a D, I think. Kind of borderline D, it's almost at a C, but I do think this one is slightly lower down than a lot of the other C's I've given so far. Issue 25 is Kill Blue's anniversary cover. There's some interesting stuff going on here. You have some little chibi characters. You have Yuzo in the middle there, and a lot of kind of comic-y style effect bubbles popping up everywhere. I do like the kind of gun confetti and the text coming out of the gun. I think that's pretty smart. I don't know if the overall kind of theme though is strong enough for me, and the colors definitely don't speak to me. The kind of muted colors of the characters really don't pop, and the overabundance of yellow I don't really like. So I think I'm gonna give this one, kind of like Psych House, the D, kind of almost a C. And then we get to Nue's Exorcist's first anniversary cover for issue 26, which has Gakuro and the girls kind of all around him. I do think showing the girls with different colors is kind of interesting, although the colors do get kind of lost with how much is just going on. That said, I think it's pretty solid. I do like how it's framed overall and the use of colors. The composition is also fine, so I'm gonna give this one a C. Then we reach issue 27, which is a Sakamoto Days TV anime cover. This has some cool like glitchy effects for the TV announcement. I think the composition here is actually really strong, especially with kind of how vertical it feels. You have Sakamoto and Shin like lining upwards, and Sakamoto even going through into the logo there. And the way the text is like presented, it kind of builds it up, kind of towers it up, which I don't think you see too much in Jump covers. It definitely gives it a very unique feel, and a lot of the kind of adverts and stuff are on the sides as well, so it really lets the actual art breathe here. Then you get the background with all the TVs with the characters on, which I think is just very cool, very Persona 4-ish, but it ties in with the TV announcement. And Shin and Sakamoto being kind of, I don't know, there's a bit of a desaturation there in their colors and a kind of purple overlay, which gives it a sense of like foreboding, which I really like actually. So I'm gonna give this one an A. Next we have issue 28, which is a Jujutsu Kaisen cover, which has Yuji doing a punch with Black Flash, I think, and then characters in the background. It's kind of interesting how this is done, with some characters being in the Black Flash, although I'm not sure if there's much like rhyme or reason to who is where. I also don't feel like it's very congruous. I don't know if that's the right word. Like, it doesn't quite fit together for me. It's a bit messy. So I think overall I'm gonna give this one a C. Next we have a new debut for issue number 29, which is Yokai Buster Murakami. And I actually think this is a really strong cover. Daiki Ihara really stepped up his art game from the last time we saw him with Shugamaru, and there is just this really nice quality to his colorings. Really like how Korean is drawn here, the yokai on the sides. I do think that yellow again, there's this Shonen Jump yellow, which I often think is overused, is kind of taking me out of it a bit. I wonder if a different color would have worked better there, but I'm not overly sure. Maybe pink, but I'm biased for pink. Also really like the typography for the title of Murakami. I think it's pretty cool here. So I'm gonna give this one a B. Then for issue 30 we have Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, which is a mix of red and green and yellow, which I kind of like. I also think it's a tad messy. Kiyoshi's pose is pretty iconic, I guess, at this point. I think we see him do that a lot, and he looks pretty cool. I think the illustration overall is also very strong, and it led a lot of people to look forward to the manga before it came out. So again, I think this is a fairly strong one. I think mainly for that fact of the core illustration here. I'm gonna give it a B. Then we reach issue 31, which is a TV announcement for Elusive Samurai. This one though I think is pretty boring. The side kanji there, as well as the little notice, which is kind of more hand-drawn, is very cool, but that's kind of all it has going for it. The colors really don't strike out to me at all. It's just red and yellow, which is very common for these covers. The illustration of Takayuki is just very plain. I think this one is a, dare I say E? I'm gonna give it an E though, because I think it's very uninspired. And then we reach issue 32, which is Hima-ten's debut, and I complained about the Psych House cover earlier for being a bit messy with its use of colors. This one's insane, actually, in the background. Some of it I like the top left portion with the grid lines and the kind of balls and stuff is interesting, but then you get to that middle portion where it's kind of blocking out the main character there. It's very like messy. I do like Rina Himari, that's her name. I don't know what I was going through there. Himawari, there looks nice, but this one's really messy actually. I think I'm gonna give it another D because the illustration at least is really nice. It's keeping it out of that bottom tier for me. Then we have issue 33, which is a Roboco 34th anniversary cover with a bunch of different Robocos on. This one is okay. I think the rainbow color gradient in the background is nice. I think some of the Robocos look cool, while some of them feel a little random. I don't remember the Buzzcut Roboco much or the Snobby Art one. It's okay though. I think it's fine. I would like to see more interesting covers from Roboco, especially because its actual volume covers are so interesting. So I think I'm going to give this one a D as well. And then we have issue 34, which is Luffy looking snazzy. And again, we have Nami and Chopper appearing. They seem to be appearing a lot this year, as well as Usopp joining us. Not sure I love the outfits that much for this one. And the typography for the overall logo doesn't appeal to me too much. This is her 27th anniversary, by the way. Again, I'm not sure what Jump is doing this year with its crazy like backgrounds with all the colors and shapes. I don't really vibe with this too much. That core illustration of Luffy's pretty cool though, but I think I might give this one, no, I'll give it a C. I think the illustration moves it up, at least to that level. And now this must be the last My Hero cover actually, which is issue 35. And it is its 10th anniversary cover, and this one's actually really beautiful. I think Horikoshi's art's really shining here. The expressions on all the characters are really nice. You have all sorts of different smiles on display actually. You have a nice soft smile for Deku, a slightly kind of less soft smile, like a more goofy smile for Todoroki there, and then you go Bakugo with a bigger one, and then All Might with a quite big one. It looks kind of fake. The color gradient here as well is so nice. The kind of soft turquoise green down into this kind of more, is auburn the right color? This kind of burnt red almost. Love how the title on the side kind of shows that gradient as well. And the Shonen Jump logo, the way Deku's hair is like inside of it with transparency is so cool. This one reminds me a bit more of like maybe American comic covers or magazine covers, probably because My Hero is so inspired by Western superhero comics. But this one is easily A. I think it's the best one we've had so far. Then we have the issue 36 to 37 group cover, which is all the characters dancing. This is another one I saw some like flack for. I think because Luffy is taking up too much real estate, people were mad or something, but he's like the main guy. And it's also very different in composition to a lot of the covers that kind of put him in the middle. It's doing this kind of almost conga line of dancing that leads to the back where everyone is like in a kind of mosh pit. I think the theme as well is really fun. Like just all the characters doing a dancing motif, and then in the background you have all of these lights and colors which work because they are emulating a kind of club setting with all these lights and stuff. I really like this one actually. It's a really strong one, and I'm gonna give it an A. Then for issue 38 we have the TV cover for Witch Watch, which I think is solid. I don't think it's as good as the one we had earlier. It's nice and colorful. I like the Witch Watch logo. The characters are drawn nicely, but they're not drawn as unique as the previous cover. So I think I'm just gonna give this one a solid C. And then we reach issue 39, which is JJK's final cover, which sees Sukuna and Yuji fighting, and I think this one is fine. A fun action cover overall. The just kind of brawl. You have the kind of speed lines in the background as well, giving you a bit of momentum, as well as it kind of looking like stars like falling because of the dots and stuff in the background. That's kind of cool. I like the typography as well, and some of the effects like fading into that as well on the left side there. Illustration is strong. I think this is a good one. I think I'm gonna give it a B. And then we reach issue 40, which is Kagurabachi's first year anniversary cover, and we get to see Hokuzono's signature red, white, and black coloration, as well as the little bit of blue from Hakuri. I'm going to be completely biased here because I really love Kagurabachi, and I love its art in particular. Really like Hokuzono's style, and I love that my favorite two boys are back to back on this cover. I also really just dig Hokuzono's aesthetic. I think the red, black, and white is really iconic, and it works so well. Like, look at the Shonen Jump cover there with the white and the red and the black. It's so striking, and with the addition of Hakuri, that like blue accent really like makes certain elements of it pop. Like, oh look, Jujutsu Kaisen's in the corner there because you see it because it's blue, and Hakuri's eye as well, and the fish as well in the background. You can see them swirling around. Really like that. It's a really strong composition, really strong cover. Definitely up there as one of the best of the year for me. I'm gonna give it an A. Then for issue 41, we have Ichi the Witch's cover as its debut, and it's really fun. You have Ichi in the middle there. You have the amazing logo, which is just so fun and expressive, and it has this kind of almost gemstone pattern in it where it's all shiny. You will see the witches in the background, which hopefully we'll meet in the future of the series, and Discaris there, of course. Cool to see a person of color like on the cover of Shonen Jump. The background as well, very nice and colorful with some of the kind of wisps of color, but it's this really cool purple with a starry motif as well, which I think fits the witchy vibe. This is a really strong debut cover, and I'm gonna give it an A. Next we have some not so strong debut covers, with issue 42 first being Shinobi Undercover. The general illustration I think is fine. I think the typography for the logo for Shinobi is really good, but the yellow background and the red again just doesn't do it for me. I don't think it's that interesting, the color combination. There's some interesting stuff being done here with the clouds though, which I do like, so I think I'm gonna give it a C. Then we reach Hakutaku, which again is one of these colors where they've slapped on tons of just colorful shapes and colors a bit willy-nilly, and it doesn't quite do it for me. The illustration is fine. I think some elements definitely disrupt it, like the text in the middle I don't quite like there. So I think I'm gonna give this one a D. I think it's a bit plain. Then we have issue 44, which is a TV anime cover for Blue Box, and it is fine. The character illustration work is strong. The whiteboard in the back is pretty good. I do like the little stickers actually for the color pages. I think it's telling you what color pages are in. They're kind of like sticky notes, which fits the school theme, I guess. That's quite cool. Again though, the background with the yellow doesn't quite do it for me. I don't think it's that interesting. There isn't too much interesting like colors going on here, but it is solid with the illustrations, so I'll give it a C. Then we have issue 45, which has a very interesting like painted Luffy here. Different technique being used, and I really like the jewelry in his very regal attire there. The background as well has some interesting, more regal flourishes, which I think is pretty cool. That said, I don't think it does anything too unique, which is a bit of a shame for One Piece covers for a while. I don't think they've been too eye-grabbing, so I'm going to give this one a C. And then we have another Kagurabachi cover, which I think is pretty cool, especially and mainly because of its composition here. You have Chihiro in the middle, looking cool as ever, and then you have these swords like pointing at him, which I think is a reference to a John Wick cover where all these guns are like pointing at him, but instead we have swords, which is pretty cool. Don't like it quite as much as the other cover, but I think it is a really strong one. Especially with again, I kind of like the grey being used as a more background accent or a mixed accent, and I think the grey and the yellow works quite nice, like grey, black, and yellow. That's an interesting color combination too, so I'm gonna give this one a B. Then we reach Sakamoto Days' second popularity poll cover for issue 47, with Sakamoto and Shin kind of busting through some rock. I think this is fine. It's a little boring to me. The angle with Sakamoto coming out with the gun is fairly strong, so I'm gonna give it a C, I think. Then for issue 48, we have Yozakura Family's 5th anniversary cover, and likely its last cover in Jump, which is a mirror to the first cover it ever had in Jump. which I think is really sweet. I think mirroring covers are really nice like this, and now you get to see that whole family a bit more grown up with the kids here. I like how well drawn it is. It'd be interesting to compare the two covers actually. Why don't I do that? Okay, so I'm looking at them side by side, and yeah, it's a complete kind of reproduction. And it's interesting to see how all the characters' expressions have changed. There's a unsureness to a lot of them, to Taiyo, to Shinzo. And then you go to the new one and everyone has this really nice, like, smile really. They look really happy. It looks really genuine. Everyone's kind of mellowed out. Everyone's happy again. There's these nice cherry blossoms falling. And instead of the kind of red and black swirl on the first one, you have a lot more tolerable, softer blue and yellow going on. You've got some pink mixed in with there, so it feels a lot more chill, and it's indicative of how the characters have grown over time and gotten to know each other. I think that's really, really nice. I think I might give this one an A because of this fact. It's just a very nice cover to look back on the old one, and it's a strong composition. It's got nice colors as well. So yeah, it's a great cover. Gonna give it an A. Then we have issue 49, which is an Elusive Samurai TV anime cover again. I think for its second season, I guess. And it has Takayuki looking extremely feminine and pretty. I like this one a lot actually, because for once, instead of having just a flat color or something in the background, we have a full-on illustration with the moon and these flowers, and it has a really nice atmosphere to it. This one is really, really cool. I am going to give it an A. You actually have a lot of feminine symbolism here as well, I think, with the flowers and the moon, which is quite interesting. I really like that actually. I think that's Takayuki as well. I could be wrong, because some of the Elusive Samurai characters kind of look the same to me. Sorry. Then for issue 50, we have an Akane Banashi cover, which has Akane in the middle and all of her schoolmates kind of around her. The colors in the background are quite nice, and I do like the little falling flowers, I think, or like leaves, and the different characters are using them in different ways. I think it might represent an autumnal kind of cover maybe. I'm not too familiar with the plant there. Composition is okay. Colors could be a bit better maybe, so I'm gonna give this one a C, I think. Then we reach issue 51, which is a new manga, and that's Sid Craft's Final Deductions, or Sid Craft's Love is a Mystery, I think is its localized title now. And the illustration is strong. I think Tsutsui is a good illustrator. Like Big Ben in the background kind of tells you where you are and kind of what you're in for here. The colors could be better though, and I think it's a bit cluttered with how many colors are on display. You've got the blue gradient in the background, you've got some green at the top, you've got green kind of at various places. You also have red and yellow being used again with purple. It's a bit overwhelming, and then the characters as well don't really all fit those colors, and I think they clash too much. I think a more muted purpley color would work better, purple cover overall, or maybe like a pink for the romance elements, instead of what they've done here, where I think they've just drowned out the artwork with all the text and stuff. So I'm gonna give this one a D. And then finally, for a final issue of the year, issue 52, we have another Undead Unluck cover, which might be its last cover as well, potentially. I am a bit sad that the Undead Unluck covers aren't as interesting as a lot of the other series. It's often just Fuko and Andy, who I do like. This one in particular, I think is fine. I don't think it mirrors the first one in any way or anything. I do like the background with the Undead Unluck in blue. I think that's pretty cool. But overall, I don't think this one really blows me away or anything, so I'm gonna give it... I might actually give it a D. I do think it's a tad boring. The background almost takes it to a C though. So that's our crop of covers for this year. I do think overall we had a good year. I do think I gave quite a few Ds. Since I do kind of want to be critical of some of them, I do want to show that some covers are better than others, at least in my opinion. I like the look of some more than others. It'd be interesting to, I guess, tally these in the future to see what I thought of last year compared to this year. But I do overall feel like this year was pretty good. As for my favorite covers, I think last year I had covers I liked a bit more, like the Luffy and Iñaki Godoy cover was really cool, it's stuck in my mind. And there's the group cover, which I own, which I really, really like. This year though, I think my favorites are definitely that Kagurabachi cover with Hakuri and Chihiro. Love the colors, love the characters, I think it's really well done. The My Hero Academia final cover is another really, really strong one. Amazing illustrations. That might be my favorite of the year actually, and that's coming from someone who isn't that big a My Hero fan at all. The group cover with the dancing is also really, really strong. Really like that one. Slightly less than the other two though, and I think last year's group covers were better overall. The recent Elusive Samurai cover with the moon in the background as well, I think I'm going to put that up there as one of my favorites of the year. Really, really good there. And I guess for a final one, I think I might give it to that early Witch Watch cover for issue 10 with all of the characters in the different outfits because I find them incredibly cute. I just really love them all. And it had some nice colors overall. I think that's this video done. These are Shonen Jump's covers for 2024. Let me know in the comments what you think of this year's covers overall. Have I spurned any covers you absolutely love? Probably. That happened last year and it will happen again next year. And let me know what you think overall, I guess, of the covers quality this year. Looking forward again to the covers next year as usual. Like Shonen Jump has a bunch of new manga coming out all the time. A lot of manga usually have very interesting covers. Like Kagurabachi is gonna have a cover for issue 1. I'm very excited for that and any future covers that has. Chances are if you're watching and you like me talking about Shonen Jump's covers, you'll like listening to me talk about Shonen Jump generally, and I have a lot of videos on my channel if you'd like to subscribe and maybe watch them. I have the History of Shonen Jump series, where I go through Shonen Jump's entire history, year by year, looking at all of its old manga. Often old covers pop up there, and it might be fun to look at some old covers at some point and do this for earlier years in Jump's history. I also have the X-Files series, where I talk about cancelled Shonen Jump manga if that's something you'd be interested in. I have actually quite a lot of videos there now. I have about 20 X-Files. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon if you like videos like this or any other videos I have. It pushes me to make better videos and you'll get some cool rewards like exclusive access to polls and the Patreon-only Trent Talks podcast, where I just yap about stuff generally and other manga I've read, which I don't necessarily make videos on. Also, if you subscribe at the $3 tier or higher, you'll get a unique little doodle like Kinocha, Jade, Kaizoku Gairu, Soroquil Zero, Holly the Apothecary, Mayu, It's Fako, Yellowtail, Lay Slugget, Chris P. Bacon, Cho Henshin, Full Metal, Unquestionable, Weepy Boy, Wurzel, and also AB, Vako Draws, Otaku Gamer X, Deadpan, and Shy Monkeys at the $1 tier. Thank you all so much for being patrons. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to be kind and take care.